Hi YouTube. I'm just I thought this should be cool, but like, what is this? Because obviously you can see with these two, like, yeah, these are follows and all that. Yes, I have nobody watch me. It's fine. 0 viewers. I'm amazing. Um, but like, yeah, you see that these are follows and whatnot. What is this? Why is this just blank? I'm very confused. What happened here? Because I also hit to like replay it, right? And nothing happens because my alert box is up here. So it should be showing something up right here, and it's not doing that. Oh yeah, my mom's mowing the lawn. I forgot about that. Ah, nice. um, yeah. So I have no idea what this is. Yeah, I just wanted to show that. Or like I do whatever. Because I just saw that like when I opened up Streamlabs, I was like, wait, what? What is that? Like I was very confused. Yeah. I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna be honest. It's why the stream is titled that, because I have no idea. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, my body's just like, oh, I want to play Tekken again, but like, it's mixed between I want to play Tekken and I'm like, and I don't want to play it. I'm back to how I was literally last month. It sucks, dude. I'm pretty sure I even said, like, before I got Tekken 2, I was like, I just need another game. And I think I'll be a lot more willing to play other games. And no, that didn't happen. I think it's because I don't do anything else. Because I just usually am watching videos all day. So that's why my brain is like, oh, I don't want to do anything else. I need to do stuff, so my brain would be like, hey, I want to do that. I think that's the problem I'm going through right now. So yeah, it sucks. Also, especially to like try and make it so you just don't hear a lawnmower. I'm going to real quickly open up the playlist. There was also another song that I flagged for copyright, which was falsely flagged, but at this point I don't care. I just don't want to deal with the hassle at this point, so whenever the one's just flagged, I'm just like, screw it. Even if it's like falsely flagged, I don't care. You know? I really don't. So yeah. I also don't hear the music because I don't really like putting my earbuds in. Because, you know, I use them all day and then they don't last the whole day. So like I kind of want them to. Especially since, you know, also with editing, I'd have to put them in. I guess I have another pair of earbuds, but like, it's just not the same. You know? Yeah. You'll probably hear a lawnmower every once in a while. It's fine. I think though how my noise gate is, like, you won't hear it unless I'm talking. Probably. So like if I'm not saying anything at the moment when the lawnmower is going off, you probably can't hear it. I think that's how my noise gate is right now. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if my mic settings are good or not, or like I need to soundproof my room. Or like something. Like, cause it still sounds off to me, but like I'm not sure if that's how I'm supposed to sound with a microphone or not, right? I have no idea. Because this room has no soundproofing. It obviously has a bunch of stuff in it, so like that's soundproofing it a little bit, but no like soundproof panels. And something that I heard from my mom, which is upsetting, is she heard like someone who was like in another room or something like that with echo, and it was hurting her ears, so like she couldn't watch it. And I was like, oh cool, that's probably also not been helping me trying to get viewers, huh? You know, and people watching. I mean, obviously, like, it's still mostly on my end, right? Because, freaking, I haven't done shorts or anything, which I'm hoping to change. I think what I was gonna do is just make the whole video, like, one thing together. But I think I'm just gonna make a bunch of clips out of it at this point. Until maybe I get someone who's more willing to do, like, the longer like stuff for it, you know. Which I have to make money because there's no way they'd be willing to do it for free, which I fully understand. Unless they're just like a fan account or something like that. But even then, I think they'd want to have a little bit of income. I don't know. Which, you know, I don't blame them for. It just kind of sucks because, like, you know, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it's freaking back to currency. Like, if we didn't have that, then I could just ask someone who like is like a decent editor just to be like, hey, you can do this, and like I won't feel guilty about it too. Also is the thing, right? I won't feel freaking guilty. That'd be awesome. My God. If someone does make montages of me, they better make one of me going off about currency. Because it's stupid. Like, especially being like, oh, hey, can you just do like a couple like 1-minute videos? Like, why do I need to, I get why, because they need to live, but it's like, you know, it's really stupid. Right? Like, it's really dumb. I mean, obviously you can overwork them, right? You can give them too much to do, and then they're like, oh God, but like, I feel like with how, because I only stream 3 times a week, right? And 2 of them are an hour and a half, and then this one is 3 hours. So I stream a total of 6 hours a week. That's not a whole lot to go through, all things considered. Like, and if I had people watching me and they clipped that, then like that'd make their lives even easier. I don't, at all. I always burp, dude. God, I hate it. I think that's because my, okay, the lawnmower's right here. It's right in front of me. It's weird too, because I'm pretty sure my mom's actually pretty good at like not doing this stuff when I'm streaming. Aside from like the washing machine, dry machine, which I think you probably could barely hear it. I mean, I think earlier she would mow the lawn, like when like we first moved here, she would mow the lawn while I was streaming, but I think like more recently, yeah, she's not done that as much. Maybe it's because it's been winter. Maybe that's why, actually. Yeah, maybe it's just because it's been really cold. That might be why. Yeah, that'd probably explain it as to why it hasn't happened recently. Because we're actually getting good weather again. I have 2 months left of school, man. I freaking hate it. I mean, one of the projects I'm doing is like kind of fun. Because it's like seeing how like a certain culture has gone into American culture. And like different aspects, which I chose Japanese culture. Or Japanese Americans, right? Because it's probably like the easiest one, I'm gonna be honest. Like one of them. If you're doing all aspects of it, like Japan is probably like the easiest one. Because it's like, oh, how the media is seeing them, how religion is. Like, the hardest one would definitely probably be religion. And like maybe food. But even then there's like Japanese places. There's ramen places, which is a Japanese food. So like it's not that bad. So I think really the only bad one is religion. Or like, that's not as easy to do. Because Japan's religions are Shinto and Buddhism, which I believe are very low in America. The amount of people who are Buddhist and Shinto. I think, to be fair, everywhere in the world is low in Shinto. I think it's just a Japan thing. But yeah. I really don't want to play Tekken, even though it's like, oh, I'll learn a new character. Like, I just don't want to. I don't know, man. This is my 3-hour stream, too. How am I going to fill this out? My God. This sucks. Man, if only, you know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I really should make a just chatting section, because like I am stuck on this so often, and it's like I don't feel like doing anything, right? So I definitely should have that. The only thing is, like, you know, I need someone to draw it or like make it, and then I gotta pay them, you know, and then instead of just, if there was no currency, I could just ask someone to do it, you know, and be great. You know, I wouldn't have to freaking worry about it. That's another thing too, is like, if there was no currency, I could just focus on this, which is what I enjoy. This is the part I enjoy about it. The editing and like getting shorts and all that, I hate it. Even though it's like just throwing in subtitles, dude, I hate doing that. It's not enjoyable for me at all. Because even when I was doing like the edits, like I really wasn't enjoying myself that much on like the main channel when I was doing it for a little bit. I mean, that was probably the most fun part, but it was like kind of fun. That was the thing. It did not outweigh the rest of the process. It was horrible. It's like that's honestly why like I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go back and just cut it in like a minute or so like length of just clips, right? Because yeah, no, it's not fun for me to just go back in and watch it, like all of it. I think I also don't really like how I sound on a mic, so that probably doesn't help either as well. Like I just wish I could just had no money, so then I could just ask someone to edit for me, and then just nice and simple, dude. Like it'd be so awesome. But we have freaking money and we're late stage capitalism, so of course not, dude. And the thing is, I'll probably never see a world where there's no currency in my lifetime. It's probably not gonna happen. I think we're lucky to get socialism in America at this point. There's also Gen Z men are becoming more conservative, which is awesome, dude. Because they think the way that they can get girlfriends is by listening to Andrew Tate. Awesome, dude. That's definitely who you should ask, not a freaking female. And like, I get you can have social anxiety about it, right? Then ask your friends who maybe has a girlfriend or something. I don't know, like, Jesus, dude, why are you listening to a sex trafficker, right? That's what he, or like a human trafficker or something like that. That was what he was arrested for. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, just think for a second if that makes sense, dude. Like, I don't understand. God. And like, less of them are identifying as feminists. Like, I think that is a major part of it, though, is because of that. It's like, and also another thing is like, some girls just don't want to date, you know? It's like how some guys don't want to date. Some girls just don't want to date. It's like too much of a commitment. It takes up too much time, all that. They want to have all the free time. You know? Just let them live their life. There's plenty of anime girls you can just act as your waifus. Like, my god. It's freaking crazy. Just get like a body pillow or something. I don't know, man. Don't freaking... I just... Man. Another thing that also bothers me is when people just still use, like, the R word and then, like, gay, and then people are upset, like, derogatory, and then people are just upset. It's like, oh, woke culture won't let me say this. Like, yeah. Okay, if you have a problem with it, make up a word. Like, I feel like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't be upset about it if, I mean, this would never happen in like a hypothetical world, but like if you just couldn't make up a word, fine, whatever. But like, you can just make up a word. Like, I don't understand why you're so attached to this specific word. Just make up another word that means the same thing as the word you were using. I don't get it. It's so freaking stupid. And people are upset they can't use this. Like, yeah, just make up another word. Don't do the one that's obviously like a bad thing to say, you know? It's really not that hard. Just mash sounds together and bam, you got a word. Syllables together, bam, word. Like, letters together, bam, word. Like, I just don't get it. Because like, you can clearly tell, like, millennials have had their own, like dialect they've added. Gen Z's had their own dialect they've added. Like, it's something that just comes with, like, the generations, right? It's just like, it's a natural thing that happens. So just make up a word, dude. It drives me crazy. I feel like those people just, God, I hate it, dude. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I do hope some of those males though, like, actually talk to girls and then be like, oh hey, the opinion I had was actually kind of stupid. You know, they have that self-reflection. They probably won't because of how our school system is. That's like not something that's even remotely taught, you know? So they probably won't. Like, I think the only reason I actually became this way is because I watched leftist stuff. And I was like, wait, I should probably think about stuff, you know? Like, think about how things actually work. Are they working or are they not? Which the answer is pretty much always no, that they're not working. And that's what's led me to my thoughts on criminals and all that, right? It was just taking the step back and thinking about it. Doing a little bit of Googling and being like, and then thinking for myself, it's like, this is a society issue, right? Like, because all of this is mental health related pretty much, and poverty, which is another societal thing. Like, and even like the ones where they're naturally born, you can be accommodated for. So it's like, this is not an individual person issue. And it also annoyed me because there was another freaking mini led video that called him, like, it's like, oh, pedophiles back. It's like, oh my god. I mean, if it's that he did another one, like, yeah, sure, that's good, but like, I have a feeling it's just like oh, checking in on this guy kind of a thing, because I saw that before. And they also did she was just 16. It's like, dude. Because another thing also, I feel like people don't take a step back and realize pedophiles were just born that way. You know, and you just like doing this and just causing an uproar doesn't solve anything, that's for sure. You know, what you should look at is how you could make it so the pedophiles don't, right? Because they're naturally born, they can't control it. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, making a video on that doesn't help. I mean, sure, it might reach it to more people and then be like, hey, that's a bad thing, and then like they can know that, but that's another thing, they're naturally born with it, so then they'll just feel shame, guilt, and just like depressed. Like, they'll probably become depressed because that's just who they are and they can't control that, right? Because you're not doing anything to accommodate for them, right? You're just saying, screw this person, you know? That's another thing. Like, it's always why when like people bring up like criminals and all that, and like they're like, oh yeah, screw those guys, and I always just like sigh, or just like, I don't like it, dude. It just makes me feel uncomfortable, because like this is not how they should be treated. Now, should they be taken away from society for a few years, right? Like, yes. But with how our jail system works, they shouldn't, honestly. Jails do freaking nothing. They just make them want to go commit crimes again. Like, honestly, with how our jail system is, it's better to freaking, like, keep 24/7, like, surveillance on them and making sure they get the help they need instead of throwing them in jail. Because they get nothing to help them. Right? It's why people always go back to jail, and like a lot of criminals do crimes again, because you're not solving the thing that caused them to do it. And prisons never will, because they get money for criminals, so they never will rehabilitate them because they don't get money. Like, it just makes sense for them to just not rehabilitate them and not make them get any better. Like, jails, at least in America, are not the answer. It's like the worst way to rehabilitate criminals is our criminal system, like our jail system. It is like the opposite. It is the worst way to do it, right? God, dude. It's just so frustrating. Because, like, even leftists, dude, they're still like, oh man, yeah, these guys deserve the worst and all that. And it's like, why? Like, why do they? Should they be kept away from society? Yes, again, they should. But that should be to get the help they need so they can't hurt anybody else in the meantime. Like that, when people are just saying, oh, they deserve the worst, it's like, what? No. No, they don't. Society did that to them. They didn't do that to themselves. Society did it. Or like how they were raised, like stuff like that, like outside factors. That's what caused them to do it. Right? That's not them. That's not on them to do it, that they did it. That's with how society is set up. That's like the whole like that was the whole point with that one like slideshow I was showing the whole time, was like the reason why these people are doing this is because society is not accommodating these people, right? Like they're doing this because they're not getting the help they need, or like they're not being informed of like what they actually have or stuff like that, or like how they can get help. They're not being informed of this, and so they just do it, right? Like, God, I'm probably gonna be on this for like a while, because like it seems like nobody, like, because I feel like with the other ones, like maybe I'm like in the majority, and like it just doesn't seem like it because the internet's the internet's something. But I feel like with this, I'm just in the minority with this, and like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you go back to like anybody, society is what failed them. It wasn't, and by proxy, then that person hurts other people, and then the government and all that would be like, oh, look at what this guy did. It's like, no, you were the one who caused him to do that. With how you've set up our society, you were the ones who did that. It wasn't that person's fault. It was your fault. And that's the mindset you need to have. And that's why I talked about it so much during that freaking talk Wednesday. You need to think more about it as society that's causing these issues, right? Not the individual person, right? It's just one person. Like, what is it gonna do to, like, you say, oh, screw this guy? Like, no, that's gonna solve anything. You need to solve it through society, right? And these aren't like things that'll just like, oh, well, I guess, hang on. Oh, okay, just change music. I've lost my train of thought. I lose it so often. If I think about like anything else, I just lose it. Because society. This is also why I need a chat, dude, so they can just like bring me back on track. I'm just like, because I lose my train of thought so often. But yeah, it's so dumb, dude. Like, blaming the individual people and all that, like, it doesn't solve anything. Like, screaming at each other, that just makes the guys, like the big guys up there, they get more money. That's all that does. You make the people who run the jails get more money. That's all you do, right? Like, you're not doing anything helpful. You're just giving those people more power and influence over our politics, and then making it worse, right? That's why you need to look at society as the issue, and not the individual person. Like, thing is also, though, I just feel like people rather see red, so it's why people wouldn't want to agree with this, is because they just want to point at someone to blame. Which also, to be fair, which I will add to that, is you could just point at society to blame. That's what I do every time. If you want to point at someone to blame, it's society and how it's set up. It's not that person's fault. They were just born on this earth, right? And then their mind just did what it did, like what it should have done under how that society ran, right? So, like, it's not their fault. No one just wakes up and be like, oh, I want to be a pedophile. Nope, they're born that way. You need to figure out how to accommodate those people so they don't do it and hurt others, right? You need to figure that out. Same with neurodivergent people. Most people in jail are neurodivergent. Need to accommodate for those people also. Because, yeah, I do know from experience with my brother, if you get yelled at for stuff that your brain just does, then boy, you'll just feel shame and guilt and become depressed, because that's just how your brain works, right? And then you're just kind of in this downward spiral for like a long time. I think my brother's been this way for like 7 years maybe, right? Yeah, probably like 7 years. It's been a while, dude. Like, I think he's gotten like slightly better, but like it's still not enough. He's still very much in that down spot. And like, the thing is also, it affects me too, because obviously when you're in 5th grade, you still want to hang out with your older brother, and then when that's just taken away from you, you're like, oh well, okay, I guess I'm on my own now. I don't remember the last time we've had an actual conversation with each other. I really don't. Because I know the last time I played a game with him, I wasn't in the voice chat with him. I played it with him, right? But it was no voice chat. I was just playing it with him and his other group of friends. Like, yeah, I don't remember the last time. And that's just because of how society's set up, you know? Like, I didn't get that. You know? It's... like, I understand it's not his fault at all, it's just everything else around it that got him to that place. That's why I never will blame him. And even if he thinks I'm the favorite, like, I won't blame him for it, because he has felt that way. I think it's because my dad cared about me, because I had some interest in sports when he didn't. So my dad cared about me more than he cared about him. So that's probably also why he saw his, like, favoritism. Well, I think he also saw with, like, my mom as well, but... yeah, it's not fun to hear this stuff, dude. And, like, if people were just accommodated like this, you wouldn't have to hear this. You know? Like, even, like, secondhand, it's not fun. Like, he has it firsthand, I'd say this is secondhand I have it, and it's just not fun at all. And, like, it doesn't help also, I have social anxiety, so, like, it's really hard for me to get friends. I honestly don't even know how I became friends with, like, in 6th grade. I really don't, because, especially back in 6th and 7th grade, I was extremely, like, my social anxiety was way higher than it is now. Like, I have a lot of social anxiety now. Dude, back in 6th and 7th grade, I had the mentality of, like, oh, even if I was the person known for, like, doing the thing, but, like, someone else, like, got the credit for it, I was fine with that. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I didn't want to be in the spotlight at all. That was how brutal it was. Like, it sucked. And, like, in 8th grade, that turned around, and, like, yeah, I'd like to be in that position. That's the kind of thing now. But, like, yeah, in 6th and 7th grade, it was so bad. I don't know how. I mean, we had the same classes, like, pretty much every time. Right? Actually, throughout all of middle school, we would have had the exact same classes, aside from, like, one, if he wasn't transferred to advanced math. Yeah, if it weren't for that, though, we would have had the same exact classes throughout all of middle school. Which is kind of crazy, too, because I don't think you could change your schedule at all in middle school. At least for our middle school. Because, like, yeah, at least it's, like, high school, you can change it so you get people you like, right? So I feel like that's not as crazy if you get people like you talk to, like, throughout all of high school, but... yeah, with middle school, like, and you can't change that at all, it's kind of crazy. I mean, yeah. I just hate having social anxiety, dude. And there have been times where, like, I think the thing is I've only felt there's been times when it's been solo. I think I've only felt loved by my mom. And like I know the last week of my sophomore year, it was really weird because like I think I've said this before, like I've told the story before, but last week of sophomore year when I was getting home, like I think my mom dropped me off. Or no, I think it was I rode the bus and then mom dropped me off, whatever. I just remember having a feeling like I needed a hug. But like not from my mom because I knew that she loved me. I think it was like from someone else, I think was what it was. And I think I did feel that once more, but after that, like I haven't had that again, which is really weird. Especially since over the summer, like I only talked to my mom. I didn't talk to anybody else. So I don't know how I guess it's just like, yeah, I was streaming or like I was on my computer or like watching videos. Like it was just like taking my mind off of it. But yeah, it was really weird. You know, that just happened and then I never felt it again. But yeah. If there is one thing I can change about me though, it would be my social anxiety. I know I said before, like my sexual urges, I think was what it was before. But I think those haven't been as bad, honestly, since I've talked about it in that one video that I made, and it was like back in June or like summer of last year. I think that's honestly gotten a little bit better. I think the social anxiety is definitely what I would change, if there's one thing I can change about me. Because it's still really bad. Like, the fact that it's really bad now, like, dude, 6th and 7th grade me, the fact that it was even worse is, like, crazy. It's insane. I think that's why when, like, I see people that, like, also went through it, because I saw a clip of Akuma Numine, like, she had like I'll do like a 2-year plan with like Matara and all that. And I was like, social anxiety? Wait a minute. I have that. I feel the exact same way about people. And then also like when Matara found out and like messaged Newbie and then her response to it was like, you know, I feel like I'd have a similar response to that. Like, and I also saw too in like one of MatPat's videos, I think it was like one of the last ones before he announced he was retiring, was like YouTube, I feel like is getting more, it's like an area where like they're watching people who have similar experiences to them, right? That was going away a little bit, but now it's coming back to that. Where like people who are going through the same struggles, they're like, those people are becoming more popular, right? Which is ironic because if they actually become more popular, then they become less relatable. It's kind of ironic, but you know, it's, I guess, just how currency works, man. Because, hey, guess what? If we didn't have currency, then that wouldn't matter. I guess people who still want to be famous would probably feel resentment towards it, but whatever. But yeah, people are like are starting to watch people who like they can relate to more. Which I will say, like with Numi's sexual urges and how open she is about them, and also I think she says she's a sadist and a masochist. Yeah, I'm not with that, but obviously that's what makes us different, right? You know, that's kind of what it is. So yeah. It's always neat to like see those feelings like, hey, I'm the same way, right? Like when you always find that about people. I think that's why I always am so open about myself too. It's because like I also want to see people be like, oh hey, there's someone else out there that's like me, right? So like that's why I'm always so open, and also like maybe not as like happy-go-lucky as a lot of people are, and like try to just like not talk about this stuff, which is like understandable. You know, give people an escape from like real life, but yeah, I'm someone who doesn't mind talking about it, like at all. I actually kind of enjoyed talking about it. I mean, dude, literally, what was it, Thursday, I believe? in my financial literacy class, we just talked about economic theory like the whole time. Maybe it might have been Wednesday. No, I think it was Thursday. We were just talking about economic theory the whole time, and well, I guess I should say the teacher went over to me and Aiden, and we just kind of like went back and forth on it, and like that was fun, dude. And like it makes me realize, like, dude, talking to people who like are interested in it and like getting into it, it's so fun, dude. I just wish like more people would care about it, because obviously I'm still in high school. High schoolers don't really care about that kind of stuff typically, and so like it was just so fun to have like a conversation like that, dude. Just like go back and forth, see another person's perspective on things, right? Like it's so awesome. The only thing is, like, again, I have social anxiety. Like I'm blaming a lot on my social anxiety, but I feel like I'm saying it because it's true, right? I wouldn't be saying it's my social anxiety if I didn't believe that was true, right? And so I think that is part of it. Well, I think also some of the people I want to talk to wouldn't also care, which, yeah, there are some people like I can definitely like just not bring it up at all, but dude, conversations like that are just so fun. I mean, obviously if they're not like super right wing, that's also what made it like probably more enjoyable, was like he wasn't super right wing, obviously. Like I think he was like kind of a in between, like at least on the spectrum of like capitalist and socialist. So like, you know, it wasn't that bad. And he also like has an open-minded mindset as well, which is also really nice to talk to someone with. I think that was another thing too. Like I said the spectrum thing, but I think it was more the open-mindedness of it. I mean, like that's more enjoyable. It's why I want to talk to other people about stuff like this, but I just know they wouldn't care, or go on a live stream and we'd talk about this stuff, you know? Which I get it, but yeah, I just really wish I could do it on stream. I guess, yeah, they also probably wouldn't have good microphones either, so I don't know how enjoyable it would be. It'd basically be with how like the podcasts were, if anyone remembers that, which nobody's watching me, so you can go back and watch those, I guess, and just see how those went. I don't think they were terrible, honest, with the mic quality. There were a lot of times Aiden had to like leave the Discord call and come back in. I think it was something to do with the mobile version of it, but yeah, I don't think it was that bad. That's the thing. I feel like I should have another podcast. It's just I know Aiden, like the whole reason like we stopped doing it is because Aiden didn't want to do it. So like I don't know like who I could get to do a podcast with. Because obviously, yeah, I can talk for a while, right? We've been going for 40 minutes. But like I still need people to bounce off of, right? Because I feel like I'm also getting to the point. Well, it's also where you get like awkward pauses, and also like, you know, I'm already running out of stuff to talk about. So like if I had like a chat to bounce off of and like we could just talk about ideas and all that, like we could be here all day, right? I mean, even that talk about the like financial or economic ideology and all that, that went like the whole period, which is like 40 minutes. And like they probably could have talked about a lot more, right? So if you just have someone to bounce off with, you can go for a while. Obviously someone you can bounce off with that's interested in the thing, or like wants to learn about it, or like has an open mind about it, right? Then you can bounce off of that person. If they don't care at all, then yeah, no, you won't be able to bounce off them, and it's basically the same as this, or they might just try to shut it down. But I think the much more likely thing is that they just don't talk. So yeah. Or I guess they could be interested, but they just have nothing to add, right? So like they just don't talk. I mean, that is kind of what happened with the, because I keep phrasing like, oh, I was talking with them, but like I was just kind of sitting there and just like watching it. I would only add something I feel like it was necessary. So yeah, that was my thing. Yeah. I think it's been like almost an hour. Yeah. I just wish people had more of the mindset of like, don't blame individual people, blame the system. It's why with like, I believe with the Bao thing also, I was like, Bao is not the person you should be going after, especially since she's an individual. Sure, she's a public influencer, so like maybe people have been influenced by that, but like, you need to, like, society is also influencing it, right? With how like our media might be, or like stuff like that. You need to go after that more instead of individual people. Right. Well, I think actually I did say like the people were actively saying the bad stuff, which is true. But also that is another thing where like society needs to police that also. You as an individual can't do it on your own. You would need society as well to also be like, hey, don't do that. That's wrong to talk about. It's so funny to me how they'll just actively say like, oh, I want to kill black people, and then she's like, well, what about my First Amendment right? It's like, you don't deserve any right to say that. Or like kill trans people. It's like, you don't deserve the right to say you want to kill someone. Like, no. What are you talking about? I don't understand you. My God, dude. It's freaking stupid. And they're not even doing the in Minecraft thing. They're actually saying like legitimately. It's not even a in Minecraft thing. Or like an asterisk. Like, no, they full on believe that. It is wild. Yeah, I just wish people had more of an open mind, but I get why they don't. It's pretty much because of our school system setup. If our school system set up more where like they could be more like critical thinking and more like problem solving and stuff like that, I think then we would see it more. But the thing is, we didn't really have that until 10th grade for me, like sophomore year, first week. We had like, oh, how would you solve this problem? And I sucked at it, right? Well, I also wasn't there for like the week we had it, because that was the week I first got COVID. So that was that week, so I basically didn't do it at all. So I literally was just like recording it, because we had to record all of them and then send it to like the people to be like, oh, well, maybe implement these things. But yeah, like that first like couple of days or something like that I was there, like, dude, I had nothing, because our brains are just hardwired, especially with how school is. Like, we can't do that. And that's another thing too. I think that grades have also set us up for that too, right? I think that's also shot down our critical thinking skills, because we care so much about what's wrong or right because of our grades, right? And like that impacts like, oh, if we go to like a good college or something like that, which is also really stupid, but I mean, whatever. like it still doesn't make any sense to me. Like, oh, you have to be this smart to go to the school. Like, dude, what? Make entry-level programs or something. I don't know. Like, that, it seems like you could very easily accommodate any person. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, also college is super expensive, so can't really do anything about that either. It's also so dumb that they look at a test that I'm sure was made by not even like teachers or anybody who's in the school field, like education field. They look at that and be like, yes, that's what we're gonna look at to see if you get into college. Like, dude, what? Like, what is that? That's so stupid. Especially when you get 35 minutes on the reading section, and the reading section has 40 questions. That's not reading. That's looking at the question and then trying to scramble through to just see if you can find the answer in the reading and like answer it then. I literally like would look at it for like 3 seconds through like the pages, and if I couldn't find it, I just filled in an answer and moved on. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, that's not reading. That's not showing how good I am at reading. If I couldn't find it, so I'm just like, oh, I'll just move on. Like no. Like, it's stupid. And also, why is English and reading a different section? Like, they should just fall into the same thing, I feel like. And also, I don't get why English is so much longer. Because English is the one you can just look back at in the sentence. And what's also weird is that they pointed out in the English section where the question is. But in the reading one, they don't point out where the question is that you're, like, referring to. It does in the English, but not the reading. I guess it would give away, like, the answer for the reading ones too much, but, like, at that point, if you're giving 35 minutes to answer 40 reading questions, you should point out where the question is. Like, that it's asking. Like, it's stupid. It's really dumb. And also, yeah, English should... I think reading and English honestly should flip. Although, I think the amount of questions reading gets should stay the same. Because how much do you get? Like 45 minutes or something like that? For English, I think? Yeah, I think it's 45, 60, 30, 30. This is what you get. Which also, yeah, again, science isn't science. It's literally looking at graphs. There are like 3 questions that were actually like legitimate science questions. So like science isn't science. It's just, can you read a graph? That's what science is. It's awesome, dude. I love it. Yeah, also my math score sucked because I didn't take a math this year. Like, so like I couldn't really do anything, right? There were so many questions too. I was like, oh hey, if I was taking it this year, I probably would remember how to do it. But I mean, I don't. Because like, I don't know why I need to know that. If I want to go into like, say a history degree, why do I need to know math? What sense does that make? Why do I need to know pre-calc if I'm going to get a history degree? That's another thing why it's stupid they look at the ACT. Like, if you're going to like a political science degree, why do I need math? Right? Like, it's stupid. It's really dumb. And I don't get it. Well, I do get it, it's capitalism, but like, man... Yeah, like literally all the problems you can just link back to capitalism. It's awesome. It's amazing. I mean, it does make things a lot simpler, you know, when like you just know that fact, you know. And like the reason why everything sucks the way it does is because of capitalism. And also we didn't have currency, like it'd be so much less stressful too. That's another thing I didn't point out with the currency thing. Like it'd be so like we wouldn't be so stressed out, because that's like kind of one of the main reasons we work, is it's out of necessity. Well, not entirely. That's more of like the mindset of like going to work in a capitalist society. If we did it without currency, that'd be because we want to do it, or like we know that like, hey, we need to do this for helping people. Because the capitalist thing is like a different necessity. The capitalist thing is like, oh, I need to do this so I can survive. You know? Like, I can't live unless I work. Which that's not how that should be. Like, at all. Because also humans don't work like that. Humans know that like, oh hey, some jobs need to be done out of necessity. And they will do that, right? There's a reason why volunteering's a thing. If there weren't volunteers, like, you know, then maybe sure. But like, volunteers literally just prove that like, oh yeah, capitalism, dude, we need that to get people to work. Like, no. Because I think also we should work on automation. That's like one of the good things for AI that we could be looking into is automation. I mean, obviously, like, you need people to run it, or like even still, like, if in early stages of automation especially, like, you still obviously would need factory workers, but you know, how about work more on automation? Like, then that'd be so much nicer. Because humans always want to work on something. The thing is, like, well, I actually want to work on music, I just can't. So I don't have like an instrument and like also my mic quality sucks. So it's like, well, what's the point of me singing? I like record my own vocals. I don't have like a quiet room or something like that. What is the term for those rooms and like studios that you go in to sing? I can't remember. Like silent rooms or something like that. Yeah, like I think that's something I actually would want to work on. It's just like I can't. Like, yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I might have to drop streaming just because I have to work a job so I can live, right? Or like if I'm going to college so I can just pay off my debt, which is like, that shouldn't be a thing. I should just be able to get the education for free, right? And the information I need for free to go into a thing that helps people. Like, it's dumb. And like, that's the thing also, like, games can still have a money system in it, right? That can be what kind of makes them fun sometimes. We don't need in the real world though, is the thing. It just causes problems, and like, it's just a lot worse. It's just, capitalism's the only thing that like most people have known, so that's why they can't think of like a world without money or something like that. Or like they'll always come like, oh well, it's always worked, when like really it hasn't. I mean, I think free market capitalism literally collapsed because of the Great Depression. Or like, yeah, free market capitalism led to the Great Depression, rather. Like, no. No, it doesn't work. At all. And like, even now, like, or if you look at Russia, they're an oligarchy now because of capitalism. They were communist, and they were like, most of their citizens actually did not want to like secede and like have like Boris Yeltsin or whatever take over, and like it was an illegal like takeover. Like, most Soviet citizens were like okay with how they were doing. They didn't hate what they were going through like at all. And then, yep, they really just speed ran right into an oligarchy, just immediately with Putin. Like 8 years later, bam, Putin, oligarchy. Like, it was fast. And like also Eastern Europe, I think as a whole, is kind of going more towards that direction. And then you'll see with America, we're going to late stage capitalism and maybe potentially an oligarchy. I feel like the thing with Trump though is like, because I feel like people are like, oh man, well, I mean, it's like what liberals use, so people vote for Biden, but they'll be like, oh no, we'll be in a dictatorship if Trump's elected. Trump's 77. And I think he's already becoming incoherent. And he also has to take time to set it up so it is a dictatorship. So I'm saying we have probably max like 8 years of like a dictatorship, because I don't think Trump's getting past 80. Like, he's getting past his 80s. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't think he is. He is not the guy who's going to live to 100. If he is, I'd be amazed. But yeah, like, that's the thing. It honestly wouldn't be a dictatorship for that long. It could honestly potentially be like the same amount as like a presidential term, right? Like, even if he does get the dictatorship to work, he might still just die by the end of his term anyway. So it's like, well, great. Because I don't think anybody like has the power and like the charisma or whatever to like still keep it alive. I mean, just look at how strong the MAGA cult is. Like, I mean, now there's blue MAGA, which is funny, but like, yeah, just seeing how MAGA is. Even then, they turn on like people very quickly. That's the thing. I mean, that's just how right-wing movements work. Like, it's just conflicting people, right? I mean, they're all rallying around Trump, but that's the thing. After Trump, who are they rallying behind? I don't think they're rallying behind anybody. That's the thing. So like, once Trump dies, well, I think they're all gonna try and fight for that top spot, right? And then at that point, that's what makes that government collapse. So yeah, I feel like even if Trump gets elected, it's gonna be like obviously terrible, but like, I think all things considered, it's actually not gonna be as bad, I feel like, as people are saying it is. Because like, I actually took At first I was like, oh, this is gonna be really bad, but like when I take a step back and look at him, like it probably honestly isn't. It's like, again, he's still gonna have to take some time to make it a dictatorship. That's something that's not gonna happen overnight. And I'm not even sure if it's a guarantee that he would make it a dictatorship, like, in time. And I think, like, just because of the, what is it, like, 23rd Amendment or something like that? 22nd? I think 22nd is president term limits. I think, like, yeah, everybody would just shoot him down for running for president again. So yeah. If he failed during that, because also, yeah, that's another thing, Trump just sucks at, like, forming dictatorships. That's another thing too. He's really bad at it. So it's also very possible he just doesn't. And if that's the case, that'd be funny and hilarious. I mean, don't get me wrong, if Trump does win, all the blame should fall on Biden, like, entirely. Like, Trump is like the easiest candidate to beat, right? Like, if he was even, like, Biden was even somewhat competent, like, and even listened to his people somewhat, he would have been fine, right? He would just be fine. But instead he's being paid off by Israel, so he's like, oh, I can't do that. I don't understand why these people just don't think, oh, hey, maybe I can turn on, like, my constituent. Because, like, that's a thing. You could very easily still be president if you just go against them. I don't understand why you're so like, oh, I have to follow this money. Like, you're also 81. Why do you need that much money? Like, you're probably not gonna live much longer anyway. What is that money gonna do for you? It's funny though when people look at and you're just like, oh, Biden's old, and then they freak out about it. It's like, yes, he is old. What are you talking about? He's 81. Like, there's no reason either of these two should be president. One's 81, the other's 77. Ah, yes, these people totally know what the country needs and what the younger generation wants. I mean, Biden's shown that very clearly. He definitely knows what the younger generation wants. I think the only thing he's gotten that the younger generation has wanted is, and it was struck down, was the, like, student debt relief. Student loan relief. That was it. Other than that, absolutely not. I mean, Biden even called himself a capitalist when I believe Gen Z is now starting to say that socialism is better, like a majority of them, than capitalism. So, yeah. It's awesome. I love this election. Because, yeah, that's the thing. Like, honestly, it's like you get more to it and, like, you start thinking about it. Like, Trump ultimately probably isn't going to do all that much. The, like, policies that are in during the regime isn't probably going to amount to much. Another thing I found interesting too is that if the Electoral College ties, there could be a Democratic vice president. So then they would just probably undo everything that Trump just did, right? If he were somehow to get it to work. Because I assume, like, honestly, like, Democrats are probably going to do really well in the House and the Senate. And it's looking like the Senate will be a tie. Which also, again, if there's a Democratic vice president, then they just win the Senate. And then I think the House, because actually, yeah, Republicans are only up one in the House at this point. So, and I think a Democrat's going to win Colorado, that one district. So Democrats might also win the House too. And if that's the case, I don't know how Trump could turn it into a dictatorship then, because they're just gonna say no. Unfortunately, I don't think Democrats are gonna have enough to get a supermajority in the Senate, because that's the thing. Best case scenario for them, I think, is 50, right? Like 51 if you count vice president, if the Electoral College is a tie, right? So, like, that's probably best case scenario for them. Or I guess if they win the presidency too, that also just that. Well, this is if it's a Trump victory, so the best case scenario would be Biden vice president. Yeah, I guess Biden would be the vice president, right? Which I think he would be the first one to be. He'd be the first president who was vice president to two different presidents. Or yeah, I guess first vice president to do that. Right? I don't think anyone else was vice president to do two different people. Be funny though. Like if there's a tie in the electoral college, it's perfect, dude. Like honestly, it's hilarious. Like it's another example why American politics would be so funny if it didn't actually affect people. Like that's the thing. Because well, I think actually that's if Nebraska's second district lost, right? The Omaha district, which it doesn't seem like it will. It seems like that's gonna be Biden. Because like, yeah, I don't think a tie is very likely in that case. The only way it would be is if Nebraska's a win all like in a win all state, which then honestly the Democrats would probably just do the same thing to Maine, and then we got nowhere. Good job, guys. But yeah, God, American politics is so stupid. This is like how dumb politics are once it gets to late stage capitalism, though. Like, truly, it's amazing how stupid they get. Like, my God, this is all because of the result of capitalism, dude. All of this. This is the system and society that has done this to us. It's not, well, it could be individual people, but like, it's a lot of people. Like, it's not one individual person, it's multiple people, but yeah, it's really not great. You know, just kind of let this happen. You know, we just gotta have to deal with it. It does suck knowing though, like my prime years though are gonna be like potentially under like a Trump dictatorship. Probably wouldn't get out of that until I'm like late 20s, which is awesome. If he does set it up, again, he really sucks at it, and also I think it's honestly, I think think likely that both House and Senate would be Democrat controlled. Well, I guess that's if it's a tie again. So like, I think Republicans might win the Senate just because, yeah, they wouldn't tie. I think the seats would be tied, but like, yeah, I don't think the electoral college would be tied. So yeah, I think they'd win the Senate. Although I feel like there might still be like Republicans in the Senate that'd be against Trump, right? I wonder if there's any senators who are against Project 2025, because if that's the case for Republicans, then yeah. If there's any Republican senators that are like that, then that's really bad for them. Actually, I'm surprised that no one in the Senate has resigned, I don't think. It's only been people in the House. Well, I guess it's because, yeah, Democrats have a majority in the Senate, so it's like, what's the point? In the House, they have a majority, so it's like more of a stronger message if they do resign. So yeah. Yeah. God, American politics is so stupid. Like, I hope people just realize how stupid that all sounds like when I'm just explaining it. Like, because this is actually just happening. It's really dumb. Also, screw any left-leaning movements in our country. It's either liberal or conservative, which both want the same thing pretty much. It's just one will pretend they support leftist values. It's awesome. At least politicians. Maybe not like people who are liberals, but politicians, yep. That's for sure. Although yeah, there are probably gonna be more people who support Israel in those elections, which is annoying. It's like, I don't think that would stop. I don't know though, because Trump said like Israel's losing people, so I don't know if he'd just call him to stop just so Israel looks good or try to. I don't think so though, because like it's so blatant at this point. I don't know if there's any point in stopping to be like, oh hey, fix your image there, buddy. I don't think that's gonna do anything. Like I'm sure Reagan did that to fix their image, but and like I feel like it was fine because again it was the 80s, and I feel like America was probably very conservative because again it was Reagan. So yeah, I'm sure it was fine then. And they probably did repair their image. But yeah, now I don't think you can do that. Especially since I think like half of the country like disapprove of supporting Israel. So yeah, no, that I don't think you can do that. It's not very helpful. Yeah, I've just been here for an hour. I got 2 hours left usually to stream. Oh lord. What do I do, man? That's another thing too. Also, is like for like a just chatting thing. I'm like, man, maybe I should have like a VTuber or something like that. But it's like then I need someone to make a VTuber, and that's gonna cost money. And it's like I don't have the money. And it's like, well, I can't really do anything about that now, can I? You know, it's just. I just can't. My hands are tied, man. Like, what else am I gonna do? It sucks. Man, I just hate stuff right now. I just hate. I'm just ranting at this point. This sucks. I'm just hitting the trigger on my Switch. It makes a nice sound. Ugh. Like I don't want to play Tekken. Or like anything for that matter. I really don't. I don't know how I can make it though so it lasts like 3 hours. I don't think I can, honestly. This probably is gonna only have to last like 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, how it does look on the stream. Does it look fine? I mean, it looks kind of blurry, but I think I found out that that's just because I couldn't get perfect quality on these for some reason. You have to pay premium so you get like the perfect quality for these, which is stupid. Like, why is that a thing, dude? That doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah. Do I even take a Countries of the World quiz again? Because I just know I'll get all of them. I almost got one boardless. I just forgot freaking Singapore. Because I couldn't see what I was missing. So obviously it was one of the tiny ones, and I couldn't think of it. That's the thing. I can do all of... Like, I can do the Countries of the World quiz. I can't do, like, variants of it, though, which is annoying. Because I always forget, like, a few of them, dude. And even when I see like the names, I just can't get them, dude. I think it's because my brain's fried because I've already named like 190 of them, right? So then I have to rack my brain for the 6 I'm missing. And it sucks. Like sometimes I can figure it out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's this one. I feel like that was usually like when I can see what I'm missing. I'm like, oh yeah, obviously. And then that, but yeah, I just can't otherwise, man. It's unfortunate. There's another thing though too I'd like to see is like people. That is like a video if like I actually talk to content creators, right? Is like having them all take like a Country of the World quiz and just see how many they get. Because I feel like it'd be just fun to see that. Like it also gives a good idea of like how much, you know, people would know about the world. That's another thing though. I only know the countries mostly that the US recognizes. other than like Palestine and like what is it, Western Sahara. Other than those, though, I don't really know any of the other ones. I know Transnistria actually, and then Somaliland, but I think those ones are not even really all that recognized, anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there is another, like, there's gonna be another country like in like a year or two or something like that, like 2026 or something like that. I think one of them got their independence granted and recognized. It's a Pacific Island country, I do know that. I think it was like near the Solomon Islands or something like that, right? I think it was like, was it part of the Solomon Islands? I can't remember. I think it's around that region though. Yeah, it seems like there's gonna be another country soon. Because it is kind of crazy to think about, like the most recent one's been 2011. Which I mean it is pretty recent, but yeah. I mean I guess it is more recent than me being conceived. But yeah. Well, and born. I don't know why I said just conceived. Just born also. But yeah. It's one of the few things that I feel like I can say and then people won't lose their mind. Well, unless they bring up the second newest and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. Let me look at like the most recent. I assume it's countries recognized by the UN, right? That would be most recent country. Would be formed? Okay. Newest nation in the world. As of early 2022 is associated. What? Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. It's saying like as of that date. That's what it was. Oh yeah, Kosovo, which... Oh no, that's Montenegro. Okay. Montenegro's 2006. Is that what that said? Oh no, Kosovo was 2008. Yeah, it's not fully recognized. Kosovo is recognized by the US though. Montenegro is 2006. Wait, Serbia separated from Montenegro in 2000, and then Montenegro separated from Serbia in 2006. What? What? Okay. Very confused. Oh, it's like, yeah, it's just like the history of all this. I thought there was another one happening. Maybe not. Yeah, it's South Sudan. I didn't know that one. Yeah, I just really don't know what to do. That's why the title is that. I mean, I did talk for like an hour. So I knew what to do for that, but I'm gonna have to do a lot of clipping. I don't know if I can get him like under a minute. Is it a good idea though to like put on the main channels like 3-minute stuff? As far as I'm aware, if you just like mix with those, it's actually not great for getting people to watch. You want to keep your watch times like consistent. So actually it wouldn't be great if I did that. I don't know, man. God, my headphones right now are on the mouse. It's making it really hard to move it. I'm just like weird because it's like an hour and 18 and it's my Sunday stream, right? So this is my long stream day. Did I just click open Filmora? I might have. God dang it. Yeah, I just don't feel like doing anything, man. Really don't. I don't know, man. I think this is why I need people to collab with. So then I can just do that. And then like my solo streams, you know, like I can actually be like, okay, yeah, I want to do this like by myself. You know? I think that'd be nicer. It'd also be nice if I could actually talk to more people too. Because as I said earlier, I have social anxiety. And like, I feel like, yeah, probably like online is probably easier to talk to someone and like meet with them, you know? Because obviously, like, usually, like, especially if it's like someone you just played online, like it's just a random you meet online, like you only know them by their voice. You don't really know anything else about them. So I think it's a lot easier to like approach them and talk with them instead of just like seeing them. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I want to even have a chance to like get people to watch me, I will have to do the shorts, which I think I will. You know, if I use it just as like shorts. The only thing is though, is like it's just this background. The other one will be at least a little better because I had like the thing going on. I just didn't think I would be going on this for like over an hour, so that's why I didn't open up or anything. And I think also honestly it got me more sidetracked than anything else, especially that first half. I think though that was just me trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it, and then the second half I started to understand a little bit more. But I think I have been actually more concise in this one before. Which, I mean, that's just how you're going to be. Like, the more you talk about something, the more cohesive it'll sound and, like, the better it'll sound. And that's just the thing with, like, everything also, too. Like, the more you do it, I mean, unless you haven't talked about it or, like, done it for a minute, like, yeah, then for, like, a while. Then obviously, like, when going back, you're probably not be as good, but it's the last time. But other than that, like, if you're consistently doing it, then yeah, you're gonna get better at it. I'm yawning. That's just how life works, man. God, I hate that you like burp a lot or I yawn a lot. It's also true for me singing too, which makes me feel like I'm not singing correctly if I'm yawning or burping from it. I don't know. I think I have gotten my singing voice a little bit better, but it still probably would be obviously a good idea to get advice from a vocalist, which, you know, it'd be nice if I could just do it for free if we didn't have currency, but I mean, whatever, man. I also think too, also, like, I noticed with two people, like, I listen to, like, their stuff, they literally say that, like, they don't care if you use it as long as it's not for, like, monetary gain. So literally, like, people don't care about, like, the only reason people care about them using their thing is, like, pretty much because you just take money away from them, right? And obviously we need money to live. If we didn't need that though, like, they literally would not care. I mean, I'm sure some people would want credit, obviously, and I think they would deserve that, but like, other than that, they like would not care. Well, I think also if you took it in a way that like they didn't want you to also, like, I'm sure there would still be some protections over like what the rights holder would control and all that. But yeah, I think it would be more like contract stuff though, I feel like, right? Or like you have to sign something from like the creator, or the creator would have to sign off on it or something like that. But yeah, they really don't care for the most part. If you use their stuff, it's just don't use it for monetary gain. And that's another thing too, like, I wouldn't have to deal with this freaking stupid nonsense with the copyright free music if money wasn't a thing either. I'd probably credit them, don't get me wrong. I'd probably put somewhere on stream, like saying like, oh, what's the song and who this is by, but like, or maybe make it as like a thing you could put in chat and then it would show up. But yeah, like, it's really stupid. Like that's why I find currency so dumb, dude. It's just because like there's just so much of these like extra walls or like obstacles that just don't make any sense and go like entirely against human nature. Honestly, it really does. And like, we weren't always on a barter system. Like, that's the thing that they'll use as to why we have currency, but like, that's the thing, that's the only thing they have. And once you break that down and say, hey, that's false, they have nothing else, right? Like, I don't think there's like any other argument as to why currency is a good thing. Or like, people just like, oh, it's always been there and it's always been good, which again, I'd argue it hasn't. If you look at like Russia as an oligarchy and us now with lobbying, and even back when it caused the Great Depression, like, no, it really hasn't. It really hasn't. But yeah, God, I just don't understand why currency is a thing. Like, it would be a so much nicer world too. That's the thing. Like, if we didn't have currency, because that's another thing that capitalism is based off, is this idea of competition too, which inherently just pits humans against each other, which that's not how humans work. Humans want to help each other. So like, again, that doesn't help at all with competition, because they're like, oh, they'll work to make the best product. You know what else they'll do to make the best product is when they can just give it out for free, right? And it doesn't matter what material they use or something like that, just to save like costs or whatever. Like, no, they can just use it and like give the best product that way. So even like the idea of competition doesn't make any sense. It's like, yeah, no, you can just, like, there's no underlining like thing to be like, oh, well, I need to cut costs or just like make something purposely cheap so I can just get the most money out of it. No, you're just going to make the best product you possibly can. No, I feel like there might be some corner cutting, but that's just because like maybe they don't have enough of that resource, right? It wouldn't be like to save money or whatever. It would be like, oh, I just don't have enough of that resource. Like, and that's why they do it. It just sucks though that people aren't open-minded just because of how our school system is. And like, you actively need to learn to be like more open-minded. I feel like in today's day and age, when that's something you should just have for granted, right? And like, you should just never lose, but I feel like you lose that with the school system. So you have to relearn it. And a lot of people don't, especially like social media. They just see someone acting like a child and like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then they'll just act the same way and then never get out of that. So we just have a bunch of freaking children. Because like, I'm not saying like it's bad to like never be a children, or like, oh, it's not bad to be like a children sometimes. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, every once in a while, like, if you're just like, you have all that energy, just let it out, you know? And like, you're around friends who appreciate it, just let it out. I'm saying like, doing it all the time, dude, like, no. And no, it's bad. Don't do that. It's honestly one of the things I'm looking forward to most from graduating, is like not having to deal with those people. At least not on a, like an everyday basis. Like, because God, whenever I just listen, dude, I'm just like, how do you think in your brain that this is okay? I don't get it. And like, you should be doing that right now. I think my uncle said that like, when you're around your friends, you all have like one brain cell. Like, the more friends you're around, like the less brain cells you have. And it's like, I still feel like you should know when to act like mature, you know? And they sure don't. Boy, do they not know. I will say one thing I do like a lot when I'm like listening to music is like either like rock back and forth. Like I do like, because my thing is like I can't stop moving, so like I will like move along to the music, and like part of that is like me putting my leg up and down like and doing it super fast, and then people just laugh at it, and it's like, yeah, you don't know why I'm doing that, do you? It's because of I'm neurodivergent, and also probably anxiety, and also I might have autism, I don't know. But when I took that quiz, it seemed like I had there was a high chance I did, so I don't know. I mean, it was an online quiz, obviously, so I can take it with a grain of salt, and like, I don't want to really like full out say like, oh, I'm autistic, because like, yeah, no, obviously I don't know. I haven't been diagnosed with it yet, and I feel like it'd be dumb of me just to ship. That's also why when the Emil thing came out, like when they talk about the autism thing, I didn't be like, oh, I have autism or something like that. Like, no, I never brought that up because again, I'm not entirely sure. Unless I did mention that part where like, yeah, I haven't been diagnosed with it, but yeah, I never was like, oh yeah, I was an autistic person or something like that. Like, no. Yawning again. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Like I woke up, what is it, 6 hours ago? Or like 5.5? I feel like I should be past the point of yawning at this point, but whatever. I have tomorrow off. I keep thinking I have school tomorrow, I don't. But yeah. It's been an hour and a half. Dude, if this is my Wednesday or Friday stream, I'd definitely end it right now, but it's not. How much is that, like, would you want to be, who wants to be a millionaire game? Because I'm, oh, it's 30. I was gonna say, my mom gave me, 25, but it's 30. So that's unfortunate. That's just like the base game too. That's not even counting the DLC. It seems like they're adding more DLC packs to it. Yeah. Oh, all the DLC is $46. Well, that's including the season pass, which I think would get everything for free. I think so. I don't think you'd have to buy the rest of this, so I think it'd only be 15. Or is it the deluxe upgrade? I don't know, actually. I'm not entirely sure with this. But yeah, I can't. Dude, I opened Terraria for a little bit and then I forgot how you make your character with like the color system. I was like, dude, this sucks. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I really hate how they do the color system with Terraria. It's really bad. Like, can I just like go to like the color grids that most games have or something like that? Or like I can freely move across it, something like that. Why do I have to drag like 3 bars? It's terrible. I hate it. It's all the colors that get look terrible then. It sucks. I do like how they still show Street Fighter 6 news in the Street Fighter 5 section. It's really funny to me. It's like, ah yes, let me show you these even though you don't have the game. It's like, ah yes, thank you. I definitely want that. I always forget I have Overcooked too. I'll be honest, I always do. I did play through it though. Oh yeah, and the Skywalker Saga just completely dropped because I was just kind of meh on the game. I don't know. I guess just like the open world part of it is just like, eh. I guess I prefer the Lego games to be more linear and like more open world. But that could also just be because it's I've the only Lego games I've played pretty much. Yeah. I think I haven't played Dragon Ball Xenoverse since 2020. That's the game I haven't played like the longest, at least listed. I think it is. I have a 2021, but two 2021s. That's April 2020, so yeah, that one's. It's that one. That's what it is. Actually, I think one of these down here is actually probably going to be it. The ones that aren't in my favorites. They're just uncategorized. Yeah, May 21st, 2016. Well, I think it's because this is a demo also or something like that. But yeah, that May 21st, 2016. Which I think I made my account in 2016 or 2015. It's one of the two. Right? I'll just go to my profile because it'll show how many years I've been out. 8 years. So yeah, 2016. Yep. Remember since February 15, 2016. So yeah, last time I played it was like 5 months after my account. Oh no, February. So 3 or 4 months after my account was made. Huh. Yeah, that's been a bit. It's funny too because like all the other ones are like 2020 or later. And then that one's just 2016. Just a big drop, you know? It's a pretty big drop. I just really don't want to do anything. Now I'm freaking looking at Twitter. Like, what am I doing? I'm just scrolling through Twitter now on stream. Like what? What am I doing? Ugh. Can I just end the stream here, man? Because like, I just don't feel like doing anything. Like, I just don't feel like playing Tekken, really. I don't know, man. Maybe I just end it here. I mean, it would be an hour and a half of footage I'd have to go through. Which is fun. I mean, I could... Here's the thing, I could make my room be like, okay, I'll do one a day. I won't do that. I already know it won't do that. And I remember the last time I did one that was just pretty much putting in subtitles. It took me an hour to make it, and it was like a minute clip. I mean, to be fair, I had to learn like zoom in, like how I wanted to. But yeah, it took me an hour. I think maybe putting in subtitles would take me like 10 minutes, but yeah. Because unlike the last stream where I feel like the first like half hour I wouldn't really use, I feel like with this one I want to use like most of it. So yeah, that's kind of the problem. Yeah, I think I'll just end it here. So I don't want to really do anything. So it's like, what's the point of extending it any longer? You know? I share my Sundays at 1:30 p.m. EST, and they should be my long game days. I didn't do that though. I think it's just because like I don't want to keep playing Tekken. Like I pride myself on being a variety streamer, and like I just don't want to keep doing it. I think that's what it is. But I think also if I just keep doing it so much, like if I ever want to go back to it, I just won't. Like I won't want to come back to it is my worry, I think also. So yeah, that's why I like don't really want to do it. I think maybe Wednesday I'll make like a Wii Party stream or something like that, because it's been over a year I think since I've done a Wii Party stream, and those do pretty well. So yeah, you need to get those view count, those views high on the VOD channel again. Because yeah, if I just play any game of Mii's, that boy, those view counts really go up, huh? Yeah, I'll stream at Wednesdays and Fridays at 7:30 p.m. EST, and those are my short game days, so I just talk about stuff. I mean, I guess I talk about stuff on a Sunday, but yeah, and it wasn't really anything all that relevant, honestly. It was just kind of stuff that's been in my mind for like a while. But yeah, you can see all my past streams at youtube.com/IronWillVods. And if you're watching the VOD, my main channel, Twitch and Twitter, all IronWill6464. So yeah, I'll see you Wednesday, I guess, for a Wii Party then, probably. See you then.